African lungfish, trying to put down an 8 to 10 inch iridescent shark that died. I found him dead this morning in my window display tank. My 30-inch African lungfish is trying. This is the biggest dead fish I've ever fed my African lungfish in the last 3 years that I've owned them. A few months ago, he ate about a 6-inch common goldfish that also had passed. Took him about a day or so to devour it, but he did. He's trying. I don't know how hungry he is, but he's trying. He tried head first. Usually he puts him down head first. Now he was trying tail first. Look how long he is. Last time I measured him, 30 inches long. My store mascot, prehistoric fish, African lungfish. That's his tank buddy. About a 10-inch black belly pacu. Bye-bye, iridescent shark. He was a nice pet while you lasted. Who knows why it died? Fish, just like us, we die every day of natural causes and various reasons. So, fish. Every half hour or so, he swims to the top, sticks his mouth out the water, sucks in a gulp of air, sinks right back to the bottom. That's his rounds he does. Moves around really slowly. Has 4 legs. They call them legs on the side. He's sizing up that iridescent shark. He's telling himself, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. I can eat him. Oh wow, look. They already ate the tail. A good piece of that tail. Look at that. Maybe the tail is a little smaller to get in his mouth than the head. And that makes it more comfortable to go in, and he's eating them that way. Whoa, look at that shake. Like a snake head. A lot of customers say that the African lungfish resembles a snake head. I don't know much about snakeheads. I've never had them. I've only been in the hobby 15 years. Snakehead, and a lot of my older customers, or should I say customers that have been in the hobby a lot longer than me, they say this snakehead was a real popular fish 20, 30 years ago. Whoa, look at that shake to him. Wow, he is ripping this iridescent shark up. I hate to sound mean. I mean, this is survival of the fittest, so to speak. Nothing goes to waste here at the Fish Tank Guys store. If a fish were to die, I mean, what you gonna do with them? Flush them? This is too big to flush. Put them in the trash. Trash is gonna stink for days until it's trash day. Put them in the freezer. I've done that before. Freezer is gonna stink for days. What? Make a nice meal for my African lungfish. Different than what he's used to eating. He loves to eat algae wafers. He loves to eat this right here. This bag right here cost me like 26 bucks. So You know, I'm not trying to sound cheap or nothing, but it is a little bit expensive to feed them this every day. The feeder, Rosy Reds, you know, I buy about 100 every so many months, and that's a snack for him if he's hungry, I guess. Like I say, he likes eating algae wafers every now and then, fish thighs, and you know, gets fed to the African lungfish as well. Not too often on fish thighs, but they do die every now and then. And just a few months ago, I bought a 36-gallon bow front corner tank, and included with the tank, I adopted the fish with a nice sized common pleco about 8 inches long, and with the pleco, the second time he comes up for air in less than 30 minutes. And usually he does it every half hour, just about. And he just did it now a few minutes apart. But yeah, a few months ago I adopted a common pleco about 8 inches long, and the tank had a bunch, and I mean a bunch, maybe 40, 50 common like feeder guppies and a bunch of babies, and I brought everything home in a 5-gallon bucket. And originally I wanted to put the guppies in a separate tank, and I wanted to net out the pleco and put them inside this 120-gallon tank, which is my African lungfish home. And you know, I got here and kind of like hurrying up and whatever, and I forgot about the guppies in the bucket, and don't you know, I poured the whole bucket with water with the guppies and the pleco inside this 120. And now I have, you can see, guppies and endlers, and they're just so tough to catch. And I just been busy with so many other projects, and I'm thinking like feeder guppies. I mean, what they sell them for? 10 for, I don't know, $1.99 or something. It's just such an inexpensive feeder fish that, I mean, is the African lungfish eating them? I don't know. I want to believe they're so small that he pays no mind to them, but there's like so many baby feeder guppies in here. I don't know if you can see them, but they're usually like down here in the bottom. There's so many tiny feeder guppies. There you go. See that? A lot of times they're actually I've seen them swim right in front of the right in front of the lungfish face, almost like teasing them, like nah 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 nah, you can't see me or whatever. But yeah, they're literally like swimming right in front of his face. I had a customer one time that guessed, are those his babies? And I was like, no, I wish, but no, feeder guppies and a few endlers in here, and a whole, you know, just a few leftover Rosy Reds. The Rosy Reds are feeder fish for my lungfish. Yeah, my store mascot. People always ask me if he's for sale, and I sold him twice before when I first got him 3 years ago. $200 each time. I didn't really want to sell him. I always say everything's for sale, the price is right. $200 sounded nice right about then. I sold them. I forewarned the customers, both two separate customers, forewarned them. You gotta put them with somebody big. Some of the other fish about 8 inches, probably bigger, because he will try to eat anything he can catch. And here he goes again, a third time, getting some air. I've never seen him get air so many times and within a few minutes. Usually it's like well, from what I've noticed before, it's like every 20 minutes to a half hour he swims up to get air. But anyway, the story goes that the first time I sold him, the guy that bought him put him in a 125-gallon tank, had him for a few months, and a few months later, the guy was getting out the hobby, so he sold me his 125-gallon complete setup with whatever fish he had left over, and I got the African lungfish back, which was a pretty great deal, considering I bought everything back for $300. And he told me, well, while he had the African lungfish ate another smaller, like about an 8-inch African lungfish he had, and this African lungfish had about a 10-inch spotted alligator gar. Wow. So, anyways, then I got them back I sold them originally in September, got them back in September, and then the following month, sold them in September, got everything back in December, and then the following month, January, the brand new year, another good customer stops by, and he wanted to buy him originally, but I had sold him already. So when I saw that customer stop by, I said, hey, I got that African lungfish back again. You still interested in buying him? Oh, yeah, the one that looks like a snake. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, how much? How much you want for him? I said, just like last time, $200 if you want him. I don't really want to sell him, but you really showed a lot of interest last time that I had him, and you seemed, a little upset that, disappointed that I had sold him when you came back inquiring about him. Well, here you go. Now I got him back. And sure enough, that guy was literally walking up the block to go pay his phone bill, and he tells his cell phone bill, and it tells his buddy, hey man, let me those $100 you got that I gave you. I'll give them back to you later when I get home. I want to buy this fish. And sure enough, middle of winter, third Saturday in January, brand new year. No, first Saturday in January of the brand new year, he bought this African lungfish. And lo and behold, he had this lungfish only 3 weeks. Because 3 weeks later, he calls me up and say, hey, this fish, and I forewarn him. I let him know this African lungfish is gonna eat everything he can get in his mouth. Whatever you can catch in your tank. You cannot have small fish. And I'd rather not say what kind of small fish he had in his tank. They were community fish. They were like 4 or 5 inches, but they were small. And unfortunately, this lungfish, you got a lot of them. You got quite a few of them where the guy's wife was really upset at him, and you got to get rid of that fish, or it was one of those where the fish got to go, or you got to go. But anyways, the guy ended up 3 weeks later bringing me my African lungfish back, and I traded him for a nice size. I would say about an 18-inch spotted alligator gar. So that was a pretty good deal. And I got my African lungfish back. And the 2 times that I sold him, I got that really crappy, bad stomach feeling like, man, why did I sell him? I didn't really want to sell him. I mean, sometimes you get into that, everything's for sale, the price is right, and you sell them. But I really didn't want to sell them. I mean, it's such a cool conversation fish. So many people come in here and have never, ever heard of an African lungfish, never seen an African lungfish. And they are so baffled with this fish. Oh my God, Puerto Ricans come in here and they say it looks like an anguilla from Puerto Rico, and then other people say, nah, an anguilla looks more like an eel, and he's shaped more oval, not so much like an eel, this, that, whatever. Another guy recently said he looked like a salamander. There you go again, getting some air. I wonder if getting all that air has something to do with trying to put down the other half. Look, it's literally half of that iridescent shark left over. Incredible. I think the other half will be devoured by the end of this day. I think so. That is a hell of a meal for him. I think he's going to go into hibernation after this meal and not eat for like a month or so. So, yeah. What was my story at? I'm sorry. I lost track for a second there. But yep, I got him back the second time, and ever since, that was literally 2.5 years ago, and ever since then, I've been telling everybody, no, he's not for sale, he's my store mascot, blah, 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 for a little while, just for a little while. Like, a customer gave me this idea, if you really not trying to sell him, then just tell people an astronomical price, like a high price, because you really don't want to sell them. So for a while, I literally was saying $500. I don't want to sell them, but $500. Okay, I'll sell them. And don't you know, lo and behold, this past December 2017, this young lady comes in, and we're talking about fish, and she seemed knowledgeable, which is great. It's great to meet females in the fish tank hobby that know their stuff. And she knew her stuff. She kept saying, yeah, there's that. And, you know, she was being, you know, friendly, flirty, whatever you want to call it, friendly. She really was liking my African lungfish. So I told her, nah, he's not for sale. He's my pet, this, that, whatever. And she repeated what I said. I like when customers do this. Well, you're always saying everything's for sale, the price is right. So I said, you know what, you're right. I don't really want to sell them, but $500, I would sell them. And she just gave me that look, $500. And she was like, I guess, digesting that number, you know, calculating that number in her mind or whatever. And she's like, I'll give you $300 for them. I'm like, nope, really quick. Nope, I don't really want to sell them, but $500 I would sell them. I don't want to sell them for $4. I don't want to sell them for $3. I'm not going to sell them for $2 again. I don't need to sell them. But $500 sounds really nice. I've been looking at a really big fish tank lately, and $500 could go towards that big fish tank. And she was like, you know what? You're going to sell me that fish. I'm going to go home. I'm going to tell my boyfriend, and we're going to come back, and I'm going to get that fish. And funny as it sounds, just the way she was saying it, I mean, it almost sounded like a little threat to me, like what? Like, you know, like in a way that in my mind I was thinking like what's your boyfriend going to do? I mean, hey, I mean, it's, you know, that's the price I want. I mean, what? You know, but no, I guess she meant it more like, you know, I guess her boyfriend has the money or whatever, and he'll come in, he'll slap me in the face with $500 cash. Here you go. You know, now give me that fish my girlfriend wants. And this was like mid-December, and she left. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh man, I hope they don't come back. Seriously, I was literally telling myself, in my mind, I hope they don't come back. I don't want to, not even for 500. I'm not trying to sound rich, because by far I'm not, but I really, really enjoy this African lungfish in my store. He's just an awesome pet. I can imagine if he gets any bigger than what he is now, how much more awesomer, if that's a word, you know, how much awesome he's gonna look when he's even bigger. And I was like, I guess I wished hard enough that, you know, the good man up there, you know, heard my wishing, and she never came back. And after her, I really thought of what the other customer had told me. If you really don't want to sell them, just say an astronomical price. And I mean, you know, I think once or twice I might have said 1,000. I know that's like just crazy high, but hey, you know, again, I don't want to sell them. So I mean, if you give me 1,000, then I guess I would sell them. But I really, really don't want to sell them. This leads me to another interesting story. I've actually never seen it myself, but a customer of mine was telling me, a customer that came here a few years back was telling me about a store in New Jersey. And the story went that the store had a red belly piranha, just about full grown, but that the tail, the way the fish was born, the tail had a heart shape to it. It was like a heart. And the store, I think, had adopted the fish from someone. So the store had the fish, I believe, like a 29-gallon tank, I believe it was. And the store did not want to sell this heart-shaped tail red belly piranha. So on the glass, they wrote with one of those markers, like some kind of green neon marker. I think the ink was green or red, but they wrote something like, I believe it said heart-shaped red belly piranha. And I'm sure I saw, because I saw the YouTube video on it, and I'm sure it said $40,000, and the customer said it was something about that, like that amount. And the customer told me, like the story, they don't really want to sell the piranha. They don't want to sell the piranha. They don't want to, you know, they don't want to sell it for $5,000. They don't. It's like a one of. You're never going to see this. You probably never ever see this piranha again in your life with a tail with a hard shape to it. But that was the store's mascot, so to speak, or one of their mascots. They really didn't want to sell that heart-shaped tail red-bellied piranha, but you know, I guess if somebody hit the lottery, you know, the Mega Millions or whatever, and they got money to burn, and they want a one-of-a-kind fish, I guess they would gladly pay $40,000 for a one-of-a-kind heart-shaped tail red-bellied piranha. Anyways, enough storytelling. This was by far my longest video already. I hope you enjoyed seeing my African lungfish. I just realized I had the light off all this time. Let me turn the light on before I hang up, before I close the video. There you go. You can see him a little better. Wow. Hey, Paku, stop cock blocking. You want to get in the picture now? Yep. Look at the Paku again. He's not camera shy. Anyway, like I started to say, I hope you guys enjoyed my video, my babbling, my story, African lungfish, the store mascot here at the Fish Tank Guy store in Philadelphia. If you like this video, subscribe. I got much more videos coming in the next coming weeks, months. Fish tanks for sale, more stories, virtual tour of the store. I'm gonna do another video like that. I have one that's like 4 years old. It's time to show some changes that I've done here. Yeah, comment below any questions you have. I've been in the hobby 15 years. I would love to answer any of your questions. You know, if I can be of help of any kind of way, I don't know. Give you tips and tricks. I'm learning stuff all the time. I've learned a lot from other customers throughout the years of having my used fish tank store. Yeah.